Ladies, gentlemen, children of the interwebs out there. Sebastian Envy, Strong Style Cinephile, and we're talking the new film slate from James Gunn that was unveiled, reported by Deadline and numerous other outlets as to what's to come. So let's geek about it for a few minutes because there is a lot in this first chapter, which is called Gods and Monsters. Projects in question will be released between 2025 and 2027. Ideally, of course, things change. Dates get moved around all the time, but we'll see kind of what they do. Disney has done it, and DC did it before, where they threw out all these names and titles and tentative dates and stuff. And of course, that whole DCEU slate is gone and dead. DCEU, as we know it, the Snyderverse, is dead. It has a certified, verifiable dying date, which we'll get to momentarily. Now, the first up on this long slate of projects is the Creature Commandos, an animated series about a group of monsters that will include Weasel from Suicide Squad. I guess I'm assuming it's before he was killed. No, Weasel made it. Weasel survived Suicide Squad. Gunn noted that this will start as animation, but it will lead into live action and then back into animation. So, kind of wondering how that's going to work. Now, instead of Peacemaker Season 2, which he assured us months ago that was actually still going to go down once he took over as the czar of DC movies, we are getting a Amanda Waller series, which, I mean, I like Amanda Waller. I love Viola Davis playing Amanda Waller, but do we need a Amanda Waller series? I mean, I don't think so, but remains to be seen how that goes. We've got Superman Legacy, which will be released tentatively again July 11th, 2025. Doesn't have a director yet. And Peter Safran said, this is really the start of the DCU. It's not an origin story. It focuses on Superman's balancing his Kryptonian heritage with his human upbringing. He's the embodiment of truth, justice, and the American way. He's kindness in a world that thinks kindness as old-fashioned now. A couple things to note. I believe they changed Superman's motto in recent years at DC, so are they changing it back? Because I think they took out the American way part of it and kind of made it more all-encompassing, I guess. But are they restoring that? Kind of remains to be seen on that front, and if there's any sort of, I don't know, I wouldn't say backlash, but any sort of criticism for restoring that. But Superman Legacy is the start of the DCU. So July 11th, 2025, DCEU Snyderverse is dead, buried. That's why I think after Shazam comes out, after Aquaman comes out, after Blue Beetle comes out, after The Flash comes out, they are still, I mean, they're not going to kneecap those movies before they come out. But once they come out, we're going to get these little mentions about how actors have stepped away or putting projects on hold or any sort of buzzwords that say this stuff isn't happening anymore, but in a nice politically correct kind of way, because the stuff is not happening anymore. We've got a Green Lantern series that is going away. It was going to be from Greg Berlanti, so I'm not really, all that upset about that going away. In its place is Lanterns, an HBO Max live action series that will feature Earth's two main Green Lanterns, Hal Jordan and John Stewart. Now, Safran likened it to HBO's True Detective and added, it plays a really big role in the main story we're telling across our film and television. This is a very important show for us, so I'm curious about how that's going to go, how the effects are going to go. Are they going to, True Detective, are they going to try to take it away where they don't use a lot of the effects? But it's Green Lantern. You have the constructs. I mean, you have to kind of go big when you talk about Green Lanterns, and not just one Green Lantern, but two Green Lanterns. Yeah, you got to go big. A surprise announcement I don't think most people saw coming was The Authority, based on the Wildstorm comic, created by Warren Ellis and Brian Hitch. Now, the Authority is a powerful team of anti-heroes. They're very no-nonsense, explode heads first and ask later type of team. I think this could end up very much in the vein of uh, The Boys, where it's going to be ultra-violent and then kind of tongue-in-cheek, comedic stuff in between all the blood, guts, and all that type of stuff. So I think it's right in Gunn's wheelhouse. This type of movie is not surprising. I'm really curious because you have Apollo and Midnighter, who are a gay couple in the comic. I mean, you have people losing their shit over the Last of Us recent episode that had a same-sex couple and same-sex elements which were in the video game. So I mean, you can't please people like whatever you do. It's just impossible. You have people that complain games, movies aren't sticking to the source material, and then when they do, but it's something they're sticking to a aspect of the source material that they do not like, then they have a problem. So it remains to be seen what the basement dwelling dude bros are really going to have to say once you delve deep into the authority and some of the characters. So it'll be interesting. Now, Wonder Woman, dead and buried, but we're going to get Paradise Lost, which is an HBO Max live action series. Again, this is stuff they're putting out there. Will it actually happen? Remains to be seen. Safran compared it to Game of Thrones and said it would be a prequel series that explores the origins of Themyscira. And it's going to take place years, decades, centuries before Wonder Woman was even in the picture. So that'll be interesting. Batman 2 is apparently still happening, October 3rd, 2025. But the DCU, the restarted DCEU, because the Snyderverse is dead, will have a Batman and Robin of their own in The Brave and the Bold, which will take its influence from Grant Morrison's Batman run, which introduced Damian Wayne. So we're finally going to get a Robin, and it's not Dick Grayson. I am not a fan of the Damian Wayne character in any way, shape, or form. I know tons of people are. I'm one of those in that camp that if we're going to do Robin, like, let's start with Dick Grayson. Like, I don't know. It remains to be seen how that's going to look. The tone of the film, the visuals, it'll be interesting to see. We're going to get Booster Gold, who's basically a imposter type of superhero. He's going to get a live action series, which again, tentative, because we're talking a Lantern series, a Booster Gold series, a Themyscira series. So that's some commitment to. We'll see how it goes. Supergirl is getting her own movie, Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, which will be based on Tom King's comic book series from last year. Again, remains to be seen how that's going to go. And then we're going to get Swamp Thing, a new feature film on Swamp Thing. So I'm sure some folks are excited about that. The series that was on DC Universe, the app, and then I don't think it made it over to HBO Max once all that stuff was swallowed up. I think it was just on the app. But it was kneecapped before it really got going, and some people were sad about that. I liked the way the Swamp Thing series was going, so I was sad to see it go. But we're getting a new movie, so remains to be seen. Now, they talked on some other things as well. Now, they addressed the future of Superman and Lois, and they both said, Gunn and Safran said, they expect the show to run 1 or 2 more seasons, which surprised me. Again, this is what they're saying now. Will we see any early renewal on the show? Will we see a renewal at all? Remains to be seen. Now, if it runs a couple more seasons, it would wrap in 2025, which would be the year that Superman Legacy comes out. So one Superman door closes, another one would open. So that kind of works out. Gunn and Safran declined to comment on the future of Gotham Knights, but given the critical reaction thus far to virtually anything about the series, if it's not pulling in the ratings, I think it'll be axed after one season, if it even makes it that far. Now, they did briefly also comment on Ezra Miller's future as the Flash in very politically correct fashion, saying, let's see what happens, Now, Safran said, Ezra is completely committed to their recovery. We're fully supportive of the journey that they're on right now. When the time is right, when they feel they are ready to have that discussion, we'll all figure out what the best way forward is. But right now, they are completely focused on their recovery, and in our conversations with them over the last couple of months, it feels like they're making enormous progress. Again, I think it's a politically correct way to say no comment right now. And again, not to kneecap the movie before it comes out and then recast going forth. I think that's ultimately the best thing to do for the franchise. And it's just, I mean, Ezra Miller was just a terrible, terrible casting in the first place. It's just a reminder of the Snyderverse. It's going to keep these Snyderverse cultist nutcases clinging to the restore the Snyderverse hashtags and all that crap. I mean, just let it go, let it die. Just cut bait for a completely fresh start. You want Superman Legacy to be the new beginning of the DCU, then let it truly be a new beginning and just cut bait with everything that came before with the Snyderverse. Everything, everyone. I mean, as much as we like Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, people like Aquaman as, Aqua Bro with Jason Momoa. I mean, just everything has to go. Peter Safran defended the cancellation of Batgirl, basically saying that if it came out in its existing form, it would damage the individuals involved. Like, people would think it sucks so bad it would hurt the rep of the individuals involved, which, I mean, not everyone makes historical box office blockbusters. I mean, many prominent award-winning directors, writers, producers, actors, what have you, have a litany of bombs on their resume. So I don't think one movie is going to affect them. It just seems more just trying to make nice and trying to put a positive spin on them, just putting the axe on this completed movie that gave us Michael Keaton's return as Bruce Wayne and Batman, which could have led to Batman Beyond and Terry McGinnis. So yeah, I'm a little salty about that, but remains to be seen how things go. This is an ambitious slate, to say the least. And like I said, Marvel's done it before, threw out a bunch of dates and stuff like that, but even they're shuffling around and moving projects and delaying things. DC did all that with the Snyderverse crap. So, remains to be seen what actually is made. I mean, you've got some ambitious series in here. Got another Superman movie, yay. Got another Batman movie, okay. Got The Authority, which is going to be interesting. And it's just, this is a lot. And I've seen some comments on kind of, you know, this plan that they have, this 10-year plan, and kind of, are we going to see the end of it? Are we going to be alive to see the end of it? Mostly. And is this 10-year plan, this ambitious 10-year plan, just arriving too late, where we've arrived at a point where superhero movies are starting to go the way of the westerns, where they're getting super saturated in the market and people are just getting tired of them. People are just, it's been 10 years plus of the MCU, and it's just, are we at that point? I don't mean, of course, I'm going to be super interested in anything comic books and superheroes and adaptations and all that kind of stuff. But are people at large, the mainstream moviegoers, the ones that you really have to kind of change and adjust things to put their butts in the seats, are they getting tired of it? But again, every season on television, you have multiple doctor shows and lawyer shows and all these cop procedurals and stuff like that. So even though that market is thoroughly oversaturated, people still come back for more. So is that the mentality that they're looking at when it comes to superhero movies, where even though the market is admittedly saturated as can be, people are still going to be putting their butts in the seats for these movies? I don't know. Remains to be seen. It's an interesting slate of movies. There's, of course, um, comments on both sides where people are like, Snyderverse forever, I won't see Superman if it's not Henry, blah, blah, blah. And then people are just ready for the Snyderverse to be gone and dead and buried, like myself, and just want to see something new and better quality-wise, which we have faith that James Gunn will give us. Will it happen? Remains to be seen. We will find out together. But those are my thoughts on James Gunn, Peter Safran, and their plan for the DCU. What do you guys out there think? Let me know in the comments below. Follow me on social media. Talk to me there. Talk to me here. Until next time. Yeah, ambitious as can be, but let us geek.